comment a little bit about your thoughts on cyber wellness. We have many of our young people spending a great deal of time on internet. Parents do make available internet devices in the homes, in the rooms of our children as well. We had a recent case 2 days ago of 8 young boys in Singapore deciding to save the world. 2 of them jumped to a premature demise, much to the sadness of all of us. I wonder if you have any thoughts on that.
I would say certainly an issue that we are mindful of and concerned with. When I was in MOE, I remember we went to do a visit to NIE, National Institute of Education, and besides training teachers, they actually do quite a bit of research that's associated with education and education-related topics. And one of the research topics that they had gone into was actually the use of the internet and gaming and so on. And they asked us to guess how many hours on average a student would spend playing games on the net every week. And so, we thought, oh, right, we got to come up, obviously with a question like that, you're going to come up with some very high numbers. And so we say, maybe 15, 20. I remember them telling me that it turned out to be 27 hours a week. 27 hours a week. And we were actually quite surprised and a little bit shocked that it was so much. Okay? And that's just games. All right? We have a number of initiatives in place, some of them going on for some years already, like for example, IMAC, the Internet and New Media Advisory Committee, private sector driven. I think it is led by Eugene from Touch Community now. A number of programs that they have in place working with parents, teachers, educators, and so on. We have recently formed an inter-ministry cyber wellness committee that's headed by Mika as well as MOE, chaired at the deputy secretary level, and includes agencies from the government, MCYS, MHA, and so on and so forth, sufficiently funded. They have suggested a number of possibilities of what we do, but a lot of it actually centers around a few things: education, individual responsibility, parental supervision. Okay, and last of all, but not the least, it is actually making sure that our schools and our educators continue the process of engaging the students and helping them understand that there is a need to have a certain amount of self-discipline. Basically, the thinking is that the habits that we form will help to shape our character, and the character essentially will determine the men and women we will become in the years ahead. All right? And so part of what we want to have the educators help us do is to help the students form good habits of how to use and manage their time, of how to exercise the appropriate levels of discipline. Easier said than done, I would say, being a parent myself and watching the habits of my own children. And I would say that it is really a partnership between the different bodies: government, schools, parents, and other interested parties that will help us to move this forward. Again, this is not something that you can really legislate. You cannot say, okay, children, you can only use the computer for a certain number of hours, because we also know that more and more children are using the computers and the information that's available on the net to support them in very wholesome and edifying activities. All right? But the downside is something that we need to try and arrest if possible. So efforts on education, efforts on bringing different groups together, efforts, I think, on helping to make sure that parents are cued in to what are some of the options that they have in place, including net filters, for instance. Options that they can adopt, including making sure that, where possible, computers are used in a public space rather than within the confines of the bedroom. some of the things that we can do. You'll hear more about the work of the Inter-Ministry Cyber Wellness Committee in due course. All right.